Hello, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner from Region Weather Live, your YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. And tonight I just wanted to make a brief video and just touch quickly again on the snow chances here over the next couple of days, as well as the blowing and drifting snow that's going to be likely on Thursday and Friday as well. That's going to be causing some slippery travel conditions and some reduced visibilities. So let's take a look. In these areas in green are a winter weather advisory that's been issued. So snow and blowing snow expected, snow accumulation of an inch or two with winds gusting as high as 45 miles per hour, reducing visibilities. Now this is from 9 p.m. Wednesday evening. So basically right now, as I put this video together, until 6 p.m. on Thursday. Impacts are going to be blowing snow with reduced visibilities, and this will lead to hazardous travel. There will also be drifting snow. Now, there is also a special weather statement out for the eastern parts of North Dakota. Basically kind of the same thing, blowing and drifting snow tonight through Thursday. Travel impacts will be possible beginning late tonight and persisting into Thursday. A quick moving system will bring a light snow accumulation of 1 to 2 inches and occasional wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. The combination of falling snow and snowpack gusty winds could result in some visibility reduction less than a mile at times. The morning commute will likely see some wintering impacts from accumulating snow. So that's for the eastern parts of North Dakota, far northwestern parts of Minnesota. And then what's left of the lake effect snow, there's just a little winter weather advisory out remaining until midnight, Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Southern Lake and Southern Cook counties. This includes tribal lands of Grand Portage. Until midnight, plan on slippery roads. This hazard conditions could impact the overnight commutes here. So not expecting too much in the way of snow, just another 2 to 3 inches there. And then this is the snowpack map. So this is what has fallen on the ground already and how much has accumulated. And of course, with that big storm we had, left plenty of snow across central parts of North Dakota. But here is all the areas that basically have snow on the ground at this moment. So that's kind of the areas we're concerned about in particular as we have these gusty northwest winds on Thursday and also some gusty winds on Friday as well. And so as we just step through Thursday here, and we can see how these areas of snow showers continue across parts of our area into mainly across Minnesota, but just kind of scattered across North Dakota, South Dakota as well. And then as we get more into the evening hours, Thursday evening and overnight and into the early part of Friday morning, you can see how that snow kind of dissipates through the overnight hours. Now, as I back this up, I kind of want you to keep an eye on a few areas. Keep an eye on these areas around Lake Sakakawea, Devil's Lake, around here, Red Lake, Lake of the Woods. Just because we have these strong northwesterly winds associated with this little system that continues to plague our area, but watch how it basically enhances the snowfall. We get a little bit of lake effect snow from some of these larger areas, these larger bodies of water. So again, as I kind of step through this on Thursday, you can see kind of the streamers that pull off of Lake Sakakawea once in a while through Devil's Lake, a little enhancement further off into northern parts of Minnesota. And that's because of the lakes out there helping to drive the energy, helping to create more snowfall. So while generally we're looking at 1 to 2 inches, there's going to be some localized areas because of lake enhanced snow that could pick up more snow than the remaining areas around them. And on Friday, we've got another cold front that kind of sweeps from the northwest down to the southeast and brings with it more snow. Now we'll notice some of these water boundaries, these larger bodies of water help enhance it just a little bit downstream as this band of snow continues to move down to the south and east throughout the day on Friday, and then again through the overnight hours Friday night and into the early parts of Saturday morning. Now, potential snowfall through Saturday morning, I mean, across the region generally, like I said before, 1 to 2 inches, but here you can see how this particular model anyway did pick up on some of that lake enhancement where we're looking at 3 to 4 inches possibly downwind of some of these larger bodies of water. And I think I would carry that into maybe just some localized areas downstream from Devil's Lake and as well as downstream from Lake Sakakawea, kind of in that Hazen Beulah area. You might pick up 3 or 4 inches of snow, maybe even as far as Bismarck as well. So it just depends on how this exactly sets up. So very interesting how that obviously can happen. But so generally 1 to 2 inches, but localized areas, some small areas might pick up 3 or 4 inches if the snow band sets up right. Then far up in the northeast angle, there is just a little bit of lake enhancement that occurs on Thursday, so they're going to pick up another 2 to 4 inches up there. And then in the higher elevations of the Black Hills as well, looks like they're going to be picking up somewhere in the order of another 3 to 5 inches in some of those higher elevations of the Black Hills. All right, wind gusts, as you can see, based on this model, everything's out of the northwest here, and we're looking at 30 to 40 miles per hour, maybe 45. And if you remember about where that snowpack was still, it was basically right in through here. So that's why we have the winter weather advisories, the special weather statements across North Dakota, because we have these stronger northwest winds that are going to be causing blowing and drifting snow throughout the day on Thursday and reducing visibilities as well. So I would imagine this will probably, like we said, it did carry out into some counties in the far northwestern parts of Minnesota. And I think as you get a little bit further east, you get more trees and such, and so the blowing and drifting doesn't happen quite as much. So that's why it's more relegated closer to the Red River Valley region, and that's why they don't extend out that special weather statement a little bit further east. And then as we get into Friday, and we have this next cold, like I mentioned, that cold front sweeping down to the south and east, actually just out ahead of it. These winds kind of turn west to just a little bit southwesterly and begin to pick up. So some of the roads that might not be affected previously because of the wind direction, you're going to get some of these north-south roads might get it a little more on Friday. As you can see, these winds really start to crank out of the west on Friday morning and into early parts of Friday afternoon, 45, maybe even 50 miles per hour across central and western parts of South Dakota. Now, as that front continues to sweep southward, kind of pushes this stronger west-southwesterly wind southward with it, but then a little bit behind it, we've got some stronger winds that eventually occur on the backside of this and moving into eastern parts of the Dakotas and northwestern or western parts of Minnesota. So I think these special weather statements and the advisories are going to be extended into Friday, just because these winds are still going to be howling, maybe out of a little bit different direction, but they're still going to be causing some blowing and drifting and some hazardous travel. And so I said with yesterday's video and just how cold it was going to be, and you can see here for Thursday, we're just talking about teens and 20s for high temperatures, and really the wind chills, particularly across central and western parts of North Dakota, wind chills aren't going to get above 0 tomorrow with these stronger winds. So it's going to be chilly, but I just kind of wanted to show you there's just a little bit of hope out there. Here's Monday's forecasted highs, 20s across the north, maybe 40s across the south, and then about the same as we get into Tuesday, 20s in the far north. Boy, you can sure tell where that snowpack is, can't you? Unfortunately, that's going to hold our temperatures down further to the north, but those of you further to the south, you're going to be enjoying 40, maybe 45 degrees by Tuesday. And the Climate Prediction Center right now is saying that warming trend will continue throughout the remainder of next week. So they have above normal to much above normal across our regions. So next week's not looking too bad temperature-wise. So for Thursday and Friday, just make sure you give yourself a little extra time to travel if you're across North Dakota, northern parts of Minnesota, particularly northwestern parts of Minnesota. When you kind of get out of the wooded areas in particular, we're going to be dealing with plenty of blowing and drifting snow. So just allow yourself some extra time out there. But hey, there's good news. At least there's some brightness in the future. It looks like the extended forecast has some warmer temperatures on the way. So that'll be a good thing, obviously. So we'll keep our eye out and keep our fingers crossed for that. So, all right, as always, thumbs up button, subscribe, bell button, all that fun stuff. For Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner. Everybody have a good day.